Hello and welcome again to investingsuccess.ca and another of our short video presentations in which we take a look at astrology, human emotion, and the financial markets. In this particular video, I'm departing somewhat from the norm and I'm taking a look at astrology and geopolitics. And I'm doing this because 2 weeks ago, one of my subscribers to my weekly Astrology E-Alert newsletter asked me if I would try to apply astrology to gain a better understanding of what's currently happening with Russia and the Ukraine. And so what you're about to see is a quick overview of my response to that subscriber and my larger overall write-up that I presented in my E-Alert newsletter. Let's start, if we can, with a bi-wheel setup. And on this bi-wheel setup, what we have is on the inner wheel, we have the natal birth chart from 1949 for NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. And you can see where the planets were at the time the NATO agreement was signed in 1949. On the outer wheel, you've got the planetary placements as at 2 weeks ago when I undertook this project to do this analysis and this write-up. But I want to point out something very interesting. Uranus is a heavyweight planet, and in the realm of astrology, Uranus is regarded as a planet of considerable change. And look where Uranus is right now. It's transiting 0 degrees right past the natal sun of NATO. And I think that's why NATO right now, as an organization, is very badly struggling. I mean, we saw it struggle with its role with regards to Libya and the whole Benghazi thing. We've seen NATO really struggle with how to approach the whole Syrian thing. And now you've got this Crimea, Ukraine thing with Russia. And, you know, where is NATO? I don't think NATO really understands what it should be doing and where it's at. And that's all predicated and foretold by the astrology. Now, if you want to talk about a mixed up, messed up natal birth chart, Russia is it. Russia was founded in 1917 at the Russian Revolution, but I want you to notice something very interesting. In Russia's natal birth chart, Sun makes a hard 90-degree aspect to Saturn. Sun makes a hard 90-degree aspect to Uranus. This country was born at a very challenging moment in time. It just baffles me how mankind seemingly creates these institutions, these countries at, not always, but oftentimes at these very challenging moments in astrology, where you have the sun making these harsh aspects to key planets. Well, this explains why Russia as a country really has struggled. It struggled through the Cold War, and it decided to invade Afghanistan in the 80s, and that was really the economic downfall of it, and that was followed by the Boris Yeltsin years and a general implosion in the economy and the rise of the oligarchs and really the pilfering and the pillaging of the entire economic system that underpins the country. And so here again you have Mr. Putin trying to steer the country back to its former glory days and trying to restore the Russian Empire. I mean, this is all very typical behavior for a country, a person, an entity that has got these harsh aspects in its natal astrology. Here's a bi-wheel where you have Russia's natal birth planets on the inner wheel, and the outer wheel depicts planets as of August 12th, 2 weeks ago. And look what's happening. This explains why you've got the whole Ukrainian thing going on. Look what Saturn is doing. Saturn is making a 0-degree conjunction to natal Sun. Saturn takes 29 years to go around the zodiac. So this is not something that happens frequently. This is a once in 29-year occurrence. And look at where Mars is. Mars is the aggressive planet. It's right behind Saturn, so it's going to be going by natal Sun. This explains why there's so much angst and so much aggression on the part of Russia right now towards the Ukraine. Here is another bi-wheel. The inner part of it is the planetary placements for Russia at its time of birth in 1917. The outer wheel is NATO. Look at where Russia's midheaven is. Now, the midheaven position in anybody's astrology is very key. But look where Russia's midheaven is with respect to NATO's sun. 0 degrees conjunct. So that says that these are two entities, two organizations that may have some tension between them. And sure enough, throughout history, they certainly have had that. Let's finish off with another bi-wheel. On the inner part of this wheel, I've got the planetary placements in 1958, when the European Economic Community was formed, and that EEC is actually the precursor for today's larger European Union. Outer wheel is the planetary positions in 1917 for Russia. Is there a connection between the EU and Russia? Well, take a look at the EU's inner wheel here. Its Mars is 90 degrees to Russia's Mars, 90 degrees to Russia's natal moon. This says that here are two entities, two organizations that are destined for headbutting and not exactly the warmest of relationships, and history certainly has borne that out. And so that is a very quick overview of some very basic astrology that helps us understand what's happening in the Ukraine and the Crimea today. And I don't always go off on geopolitical tangents in my writings, but I did make this one exception. Take a visit if you have a moment to www.investingsuccess.ca. You can learn about myself, the various books I've published on financial astrology. You can take a look at the Astrology e-alert and decide if that's something that would assist you with your trading and your investing activities. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and have a wonderful day. Take care.